like you have said, I think the aspect of preparation we lack behind, especially in this part of the world. And talking about this gospel setup again, because a lot of time, we fix date for events, and some of them have not even started the rehearsing. And you will see flyers everywhere.
Everywhere. You will see
In
flyers
fact,
everywhere. You will see the preparation in terms of adverts is more than the actual preparation in terms of the songs they will want to sing themselves. So you will find that you will get to a lot of events. You've been overwhelmed by the publicity, and you will be underwhelmed by the performance of the actual event. You will get there and be like, so this is what they actually went and paid for all these billboards for. You get there and they find out that they called it a live recording, but they are recording songs that are not even their own. Not one song was recorded that was their even written, composed or written by their own. That's not usually a problem for me. As long as you pay, we will press record.
I like that. So now, thinking about this recording thing, you know why I'm talking about recording now? Because a lot of people will come to us and say, I want to do live recording. I want to do. By the time you start analyzing to them what live recording entails, a lot of them did not even know. Like what you just said now, talking about preparation, thinking about their comfort. By the time you start telling them why they need all of those things, they look like you are stressing them.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. Somebody will say, she'll be live recording. And I confess, it's just live recording.
Unfortunately, in the environment we find ourselves, that's why we are committed to always educating people.
Yeah, one of the reasons for this podcast.
Yes, I do not take the opportunity to educate people for granted in terms of all this, knowing these preparation requirements. But you will still find out that despite all this, your best efforts, people do not actually value it, and they see it like your wala is too much.
Yeah.
It is that syndrome that it is actually the problem part, the mentality part, where people do not really see the person who is actually even organizing the live recording or the concert is not seeing it as a big deal. You just see it actually back of a calling. We just want to sing now. We just want to do this song. But you will find out that you will take on that event and that person will start to unfold different kind of problem for you. You will find out that they will get there and say, we want to use 14 singers and 12 keyboards.
And it's not part of the list they gave
and
you
the
before.
altar that they want, the stage that they want to use cannot even take 8 people. I remember there was a time we were contacted to handle an event, and the person who was doing the event we had already agreed based on the initial technical requirements. We thought that this was a good one. Wow. Based on the event, event hall. We had gone to the event. We had taken all sorts of precautions to make sure that we are not surprised or shocked by anything.
All right.
So 3 days to the event, the person told us that he wants to use 22 singers.
22 singers.
22.
Has he been rehearsing with the 22 singers?
We don't know. And they were telling us 8 keyboards and stuff. And we said, okay, all these ones that you want to do, all these ones that you are saying now, do you know you said it's a live recording? Do you know that the mixer we had booked for this event cannot record more than 32 channels? So by the time we now finish the recording and you are saying, I did not see keyboard 12 or keyboard 6, keyboard 8, keyboard this or vocal 2 or vocal 4 is not in the recording, hope it will not become an issue. We had to cancel the event and say we cannot take it because we had already agreed to a technical standard. There is a technical requirement that had been given initially, and you cannot just change all plans. They still did the event, but it was a total shamble. Why? Because of the person did not see it like a big deal. Shebi is just to plug 2 more vocals. Yeah. Shebi is just to plug one. We were something that was not in the plan before that you are bringing in just now, just to say, It's not a big issue. It's just to plug in 4 more vocals now. It's just to plug in 2 talking drums more, where you are already agreed for one. And so all those kind of things are the problems that we have been facing. But like I said, education, making sure that we share this knowledge and re-educating people, the mindset, like I said, it's been getting better technically. But the mindset is the problem that has been drawing some of these achievements that we have been at, or the progress. Let me use the word progress we have been making in terms of the technical aspects. So a lot of still has to do with the people that are doing the events. You will find out that you take on a lot of events and you are just frustrated, just angry, just because the way they will frustrate you, they will just start bringing up stuff on you, and you are like, we didn't plan for this. We didn't plan for this. And they are like, Shebi, we paid you. Shebi, we paid you. And like, Shebi, you paid did not mean that I can be bombarded with different kind of things that we did not plan for. We sat down to discuss this a while back when planning, when taking the requirements, and you are now coming that it's not much now. We just want to do this one. We just want to do this one. We have one. We have an extension 20 meters away from the venue, and we want to put speakers there. Like, ow! Oh my God. You just told us that it's just an event for 500 people. That's what you told us. But we got here now 7,000.
Oh my God. You see,
all those kind of
God will
things.
help us. You see, I think there is a great improvement. And like you said, we are having a gradual improvement, but it cannot just come at once. It's far better than how it used to be.
How it used to be, yes.
We are not where we are.
We have made a lot of progress. Yes, exactly.
Do you get it? We are not there yet, but we are not where we used to be. So now, talking about all this live recording thing, because you know why I'm emphasizing more on live recording? Virtually every artist want to do live recording.
Exactly. It is the reigning thing now. It is what you actually have to do.
You know,
yes.
What will you have to say about stems for live recording? Because some people will even arrange for a live recording. Somebody who had no studio experience before is having his first concert and he's thinking of a live recording and had no plan for stems.
Well, stems are very important. I will answer the questions like this. Okay. Stems are very important depending on the technical requirements too. The technical requirements of a lot of music is based on the genre of music. If it's the genre, a lot of like we always say, loop is different from stems. Some recordings do not require stems. They require loops, and loops are something that keeps people to time. Just to keep them to time to be able to play. So stems is another different thing entirely from loops. We have not figured these things out yet, a lot of us. So we always think stems are just that thing that and it's just playing like that. That's a loop. It can play like that from today till next year. But stem is actually organized, arranged music. It's been pre-organized. It is the way the music that you are going to perform is going to be played. So a lot of the elements are there. So if you do not understand this one, that is where you have a problem, where you think it is loop. It is not loop. So when you understand that this stem to this music, or this music we are trying to record, there are a lot of elements in it that cannot be played live. Because maybe you have only the budget to pay for one keyboard and one keyboardist to play that music. So a lot of the other parts of the keyboard could have been played in the studio, arranged the way the music is going to play. Then they are now played back for that recording, so that everybody can follow and makes the music a bit more cohesive, like sounding professionally cohesive and pleasant for people to hear. Because you cannot come to the recording, they called it a recording, and it's just one keyboard, and there's no other thing supporting it. one keyboard, one guitar, one bass player, and everybody is expecting it to be full, to sound big. It will not sound big. If that is what you are going for it not to sound big, that's fine. But if you want it to be a total experience of a sonically pleasing experience for people, then there is a lot you need to do, whereby investing into pre-arranged stems and sometimes even loops. So that would be my answer to that.
Good. Thank you. You see, you've just mentioned a lot of things about the stems and all of that. To an extent, I also want to chip this in that the stem also has a way of taming the musicians.
Yes. It keeps stem. So a lot of times you will find out, you go to events and you'll find out that the main pianist that was supposed to play piano, and there was a main pianist and there's a pianist too. The aux piano was supposed to play the organs and the what do they call it? The pad. Synth. You will now find out that while the aux pianist is playing the pad and the synth, the main pianist will also be playing the piano and also playing pad.
Mix different tones
at the same time. So the main pianist is playing piano with pad. The aux piano is playing pad and other thing. You will even find that even in that same, both of them can be playing piano at the same time. At the same time. For something, you will now be wondering what's happening. Everybody is now scattered. Nobody knows where they are going or where they are coming from. So these stems allow them to distribute their parts. You play piano, me I play synth, the stem will play the rest. And everybody is happy for the day.
Yeah.
The music is full, is enjoyable, is not clustered together, whereby it's looking as if they don't know what they are doing. So this is what stems help you. Organization.
Yeah, organization.
In places where where you do not have the resources to achieve. If you have the resources to have 5 keyboardists on, sometimes you don't need the stems. If they are around, you just need something to keep them to time, like a click or a cues or something. But if you find out that you do not have the resources or the technical resources to make these things happen, then you have to fall back to a stem, which a lot of people fall into. There's no way that you can play 5 keyboardists to be able to play on your event. You can't afford it. So,
thank you very much. Now, talking about this whole thing, I also want us to talk about mic handling, because a lot of time, you see, our artists will I say they get carried away, or some of them are used to a bad way of handling mic.
Yes.
In a live recording. And they will not think, they will expect the engineer in post-production to be able to fix such bad sound.
Well, let's answer it like this. This is the way I usually answer this if I encounter people like that.
Okay.
Especially in the gospel scene. If I tell you that you believe something is not a sin, is a sin, if you believe that, what example can I give now? If you believe that stealing is a sin, or you going to a bank and not queuing on the line and trying to jump the line is a sin. It's actually because you are trying to disorganize things. The same thing with mic handling. If you mishandle the mic, as long as you're a gospel person, for me, or a Christian, for me, it is considered a sin. You have sinned. Holy Spirit cannot be inside of you, and you are misusing something, and you are thinking excellence. And you are thinking it is the Holy Spirit that you are thinking the Holy Spirit is moving. No, Holy Spirit will not move in disorganized or a chaotic environment, because you will find out. One of the things I found out is that a lot of people are actually deaf. It's not tone deaf. They have become sound deaf.
Okay.
To the point that there's no level of amplitude that you are giving them in terms of volume.
Yeah.
That is given them that they can hear. And it is not a problem with usually the speakers. It is a problem with the person.
Personality.
I was engaging someone probably last year somewhere. I was engaging a guy, and I was telling him because there was something I noticed about his performance. While he is a great singer and a performer, there was a way he was shutting down his ears. He was in it by himself. He will shut down his ears. I could see the nerves that was happening. And I told him, when you do this, what do you notice? He said he notices that the sound reduces. I said, nobody is reducing the sound. I was not on sound. I just told him something I noticed because we were in the same auditorium. So I said, this thing that you are doing is shutting your ears down and not making you hear. And he said he will work on it. And he did. And just by that working on it, he could hear better. Because once he cannot hear, he thinks it is a volume problem. So he starts to scream and also cop the mic to make sure that. But the more he did that, the lesser he was also hearing. Because his ears was the one shutting him down. It was his own ears, not the sound. The sound was loud enough for everybody. Loud enough for everybody. But it was the one that has. So there's also what we call artificially induced deafness, which a lot of musicians are suffering from. A lot of musicians and people need to, especially if you're a singer, most of the time the ones I've engaged with, I always tell them, go for checkup, go for ear checkup, go and check your ears. Your ears is actually not working the way you think. A lot of them, I will tell them, you do not have better hearing than mine because I take care of my ear. I tell a lot of people, you do not hear the way I'm hearing. And that is why you think the way I'm working is different from yours. You think I have an agenda against you. No. I am hearing properly. You are the one that is having a problem where you think the engineer is against you. No engineer is actually against you. The best job an audio engineer can actually, or the best accolade an engineer can get is the event they do, and nobody is coming to them and say, increase this, increase that.
Yeah.
All audio engineers aspire towards that, whereby nobody is complaining. Everybody just enjoy themselves and they go out of the event. When they did not notice you at all, that is when you have done your best job. But when they are now saying, give me this, give me that could have been done in rehearsals. But once you have done that and someone still comes and say, I cannot hear this, despite the fact that there is something wrong. It's either the settings has been changed, but if it hasn't been changed at all, that means it is the problem with the performer. And usually, it is this artificially induced deafness. No other reason you will find most of the time.
Thank you. You have just clarified a lot of things. And talking about this deafness thing, what would you say about... I want us to talk about... Because there are a lot of time we go for certain events. We are not the one handling the sound. We are not the... We just go to...
Yes.
Just... when we get there, we end up using our in-ear to block our ears.
Yes.
Because of certain frequency or the way they sound.
Yes.
What would you say? Because I want us to talk about that, because I think sound engineers need to know this too, that there are certain volume you should not go beyond, because when people stay in such an environment for a very long time, especially when you even have people above 50 in such an environment, it affects their hearing aid. So, or hearing system rather.
Yes.
So these things, I want us to talk about it a bit.
The part of people going for, let's just say we going for events and it is not pleasing, is tied to a lot of factors. One, the musical parts, where the people performing are not performing in a way that is pleasing.
Good.
Everybody is trying to outdo everybody at the same time. The lead guitar is soloing, the same time the keyboardist is soloing. Saxophone just thought, this is the right time to also show myself and shine. So that happens a lot. But in places where you find whereby the musicians are coordinated and the music is still not pleasing, the only thing that can be wrong is the balance of all these elements in the music. the balance and amplitude, the level it is being produced at, then the balance of every element of the music. How loud is the drums? How loud is the keyboards? How loud is the guitar? How loud are the singers? Most of the time, one of the things I found is that people usually complain that they are not hearing the vocals. But usually it is not that the vocals are not working. It is the fact that sometimes a lot of the other elements of the music has been has been put to a level where it is not comfortable for the vocals to shine through. And vocals are always very important for me. But although there is a way the vocals that we listen to now sound that we are always trying to replicate in the live environment. So if you do not make it sound like that, everybody's feeling like you are not doing. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. The way the sonic signature of how productions are done now. There's a certain style which we're always trying to bring to the live environment. If it is to make it plain without any and make it sound, people will hear. But if you are going for that sound of which these people require, the performers require, they want it to sound like that. This is how they want it to sound. They want it to sound like a Todd Dulaney recording. They don't know what it took to make it sound like that. So you will find out that the levels now is now at the sound pressure level, it is not comfortable for people. And also because a lot of time you will find out that we are not using the right stuff.
The right gears.
The right gears. The right speaker in the right auditorium. You know, because they will go and select a hall that seats 2,000 people and they only paid for 2 pair of speakers. And they want it to sound like Todd Dulaney. So there's no how you want to do it. You want to serve the people in front. You also want the people at the back of the hall that are 25, 30 meters away from the speaker to hear at the same level. There's nothing you can do. You have to leave it at that level because once those people, and usually the people at the back are more than the people in the front. So who are you supposed to serve? The people at the back now. Because once those people say they are not enjoying it, you are in trouble. Because those are the actual troublemakers. We know. Sir. The people at the back of every concert or every are the troublemakers. Those are the people that drive opinions more. Because once they go out and say, that concert is not sweet, the concert is not sweet. So.
All right.